Welcome back, Cult Lords fans. This is Dane.
This is JR.
And we are the Cult Lords. All right.
Soft and lovely Cult Lords this evening.
Welcome back to our channel where we will be reviewing another movie. And this one is Don't Worry, Darling. Don't Worry, Darling. Directed by Olivia Wilde. I don't know if this is her directing debut or it's her second one. I'm not sure.
But she wrote it and directed it, didn't she?
She wrote it.
Another one of those, the pitfalls of writer-director.
Right. She had 4 other writers with her, and she directed it.
Okay.
Yeah, but we are going to review that, but we always like to start our movie reviews with a drink of some sort. Kind of loosen us up.
It has to go with
Let us go,
one of these babies.
Go talk freely. So what are we having
Martini
this
level.
week?
Well, in honor of all the beautiful dresses and bright colors and 1950s feel, peach bellinis and stuff, we're doing Peach Crown Royal.
Nice.
Look at that, nice. Never even knew it came in an orange one like that, but cool.
I would say that was more peach. Or a peach bag than orange.
Well, that's true. Peachy orange.
So, I love Crown Royal, but I've never tried peach.
So, we need a little 1950s music.
It smells good.
Ooh, that does smell peachy.
Peach is king. Peachy king.
Peachy keen. This drink is the bee's knees.
There we go. Wow, it's got a little bite at the end. Because it goes down smooth.
It's deceptive.
And then it's got a little bite.
It's a deceptive drink,
Nice. Well, so Dane, before we start our movie review, what do you want to remind our Cult Lords viewers of a couple things?
Well, we want to definitely remind you that we're going into heavy spoilers, so spoiler alert!
Red alert!
Alert!
Red alert!
Alert!
All right.
And we would love if you guys would indicate that you like the movie and like our show. In addition, subscribe, put your comments down there, and we're wanting to keep the conversation going with
what are you
telling us either how much you loved our commentary or hated it. We love trolls too. So keep it coming. Let your buddies know, neighbors, maybe you have a cocktail party and you're going to be serving some peach bellinis.
Yeah.
Let them know. Sign up for the Cult Lords. Join the cult.
Yep. All right. So the critics on Rotten Tomatoes, Dane, gave this a 38%.
What? Are you watching the right movie?
Yes.
Holy cow.
Yes. And
I would have thought that would have given him something.
38%.
Oh, God.
That's why when I saw this, I was like, I'm going to have Dane guess this. Because I bet you he's not going to even come close to this.
And I was going low. I was going low on one of them on purpose. But I'm like, the critics?
38%.
Wow. Okay.
And the audience gave it a 74%.
Okay.
So they gave it higher, but,
right.
Well,
of course, we already announced spoilers. We'll discuss why it was so low, I'm sure, from the critic standpoint.
Yeah.
But more importantly,
what do the Cult Lords think?
That's right.
More important here. So
get rid of critics and fans of Rotten Tomatoes. Come over here for the Cult Lord ratings.
Let's see, Dane. And let's not...
Yes, we don't want our audience to get a little inkling.
Yes, not that they can't look at it and rewind, but... all right. On the count of 3, we shall reveal the Cult Lords ratings.
Uno.
The world is watching.
Dos. Tres.
Worry about creepy bosses.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Yep. 7-1, 7-4.
Yeah.
Don't worry, be crappy.
Yes. Don't worry, be crappy. All right. So we both kind of gave it a middle-of-the-road score. I almost went to the 6s.
I did too. I gave him a lot more kudos for the style and the setup, and I thought the concept was cool. It was just the execution, and there was pieces that were missing.
The concept was cool. The journey to get to the end was cool. The explanation of what this all was so suspect. I'm going to rip the holes in this thing when we get to the end.
Well, you could see that Olivia Wilde, who was in Tron, too,
right. Yeah.
basically looked at that same exact concept and said, how can I turn this into a 1950s female political movement with housewives?
I guess.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean...
So, just to give you what the concept...
I thought the acting, though, we should say that was outstanding.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Florence Pugh carried this movie. Oh, yeah.
She carried this movie. And Harry Styles wasn't too bad.
Yeah, it was surprising.
Yeah,
he held his own the whole time, and
there was a lot of other kind of names in there with Chris Pine and Nick Kroll, the comedian.
That's
right,
he was in there.
Olivia Wilde acts in her own movie here. But so what this is about is it centers around Florence Pugh's character, and her name is Alice, and her husband is Jack, Harry Styles, and they are in a really nice 1950s cul-de-sac neighborhood where there seems to be some sort of utopian experiment going on, right? And there's a company, and they never really say
they all seem to work for the same factory.
Is this NASA? Is this like an atomic bomb kind of thing? Like,
is this a Howard Hughes?
The Los Alamos laboratory in New Mexico, where the scientists created the atomic bomb. And during those times in the 50s, they did live in these communities not too far from these bases where they were working, right?
They called them manufactured communities, right? Where they deliberately set up all the houses to be one different color from the other, but they kind of generally all look the same.
Right.
And you heard them multiple times saying, I love what you did. Is it all from the catalog?
Right.
So, I mean, this entire world is completely self-contained.
Right. But yet, they show these overhead maps. And it's the community is in a circle, and it's got kind of a grid pattern of like how the streets are. There's like a central community center with a park and a pool, right? But then you see these two roads go out from the north and the south out into nowhere, and that's all it shows on the map is the desert. There's no other signs of other communities or even a shopping mall or anything like that.
It's all there. Why would you ever have to leave?
Yeah. So it's a very strange kind of living. But everybody's in their late 20s, early 30s. They're married.
Clothes all fit really well.
Yeah.
They're all dressed perfectly.
Having great dinner parties, listening to
tuxedos,
50s jazz and early rock, you know what I mean? So having a good time, the barbecue going
constantly on. Constantly a party. All the guys leave exactly at the same time every day.
Every day. They all go in an order with the cars, and all the wives are out there to say goodbye to them.
Basically, like you pointed out, the perfect utopia for which will end up being what a guy thinks is the perfect utopia, right?
Then when he comes home, she's got a drink waiting for him, and then good hello kiss,
good vibrations start happening.
Yes. Yep, and dinner might come a little earlier than dinner.
Or there might be any dinner.
Yeah.
I think it got thrown off the table.
Might be more of a lunchbox meal, so you never know.
Might be a little floor dirt on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But everything seems perfect, right?
Except for the one thing that every once in a while there's a gigantic rumble.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, what are they working on?
I know. They're like, whoa, those scientists, what are they working on over there, right?
Right.
So, and they never really say, but...
I was going to say, did you figure out what that probably was?
What?
It was, in the real world, it was a train system coming by.
Oh, okay.
I know, they never...
Are you sure about that? Because then they would all have a shared...
They all did. They were always like, oh, I got to hold the thing up. Oh, it's starting again.
But in the real world, they weren't together.
Oh, well, we don't know.
No, they weren't. They were all in their bedrooms.
Right, but we don't know if they're in the same area or not. That's the part we don't know. But I agree with you. There was a lot of stuff there like, come on.
I thought maybe you read something to get that trains, but if you're speculating...
Well, what else? Know. I mean, was it like a system reboot or something like that? I mean, that's the weird thing. They never explained it really.
So, they don't explain a lot of things, Dane. And
what?
those are the holes that I'm going to poke in this towards the
get ready
this
for poking.
Review. So
poke the bear, JR. Poke the bear.
But something happens that kind of changes things, and one of the ladies in the neighborhood, she kind of goes off the deep end one day and starts yelling and saying, "It's all rigged. It's whatever. I went out in the desert. There's nothing there." Stuff like that. And so these men just show up and take her, right?
The red coats.
The red coats.
The red jumpsuits.
Yeah, the red jumpsuits. Look like Devo was coming in, for a concert. Maybe those
would just come out of nowhere.
Those were like Devo roadies, right?
And that made me very what's the word? Reminded me about what happened in Tron when all the like virus type things, the creatures were going with I forget what they called them. There was like the low res and the other guys, the Deliminator, D-res guys or whatever. Anyways, but that's what that looked like. Like it was some kind of program coming out to go after and suppress what was ever going on. Just because of the way they did it. But yeah. So
they come out, they grab her, they escort her away. And everybody's a little disturbed, but then they go back. Life's good.
She'll be fine.
Yeah,
she's been having, this is 1950s life,
right?
Yeah. Mildred was just having one of her episodes. She just needs one of Mommy's little helpers.
Yeah. And this is what, and when I'm watching this, I hate to say it, being the man that I am, but I was like, that seems like a pretty good life, doesn't it? You go to work, you come home, the wife's ready with dinner. She's looking her best for you. She's got a drink ready. That house is sparkling clean.
That was the political undertone in this movie. Or agenda, I should say, is to point out to you.
All right.
Every man was like, this is a great life. I would love this. And then all of a sudden there was what was it, halfway point? A tweak.
Well, we'll get to that. So, but I'm thinking this would be nice. This is happening day in, day out. But you find out that as they're going along, there's little rules that people need to follow, right? Like you don't question things, where they are, where they come from. Another rule is you don't go out into the desert. You don't go out,
towards where all the guys are driving every day.
Exactly.
Random. Don't you love the way they all leave, but then when they hit the desert, it's like an armada of like cars just driving?
That was later. That wasn't when they were in the beginning. They didn't show that in the beginning.
Oh, well, I thought I saw that at least a few times.
No. Well, no, they do show it a few times, but it's not in the beginning. But anyways, so one day, it looks like Florence Pugh, or Alice, is like, she's off on a trolley, because they get on these trolleys where they go and they get their shopping done locally, right?
Local transport, bus system.
And she gets in and she's just in for the ride. And
well, she started suspicious after that lady. Remember, she killed herself. It was after that. We skipped that part. The lady chops her or slices her neck off and then falls off the house on purpose. But then there was the egg that had nothing in it.
Well, there was the egg that had nothing in it. There was
she's cleaning the window.
The windows, and it closes in on her.
Right.
Meanwhile, she keeps having these weird flashbacks they take dance class. And they didn't really explain too much about why they were taking this dance class, and then she would have these like kind of freakouts about these dance classes and like dreams. And it was always a black and white montage of women dancing.
Right.
They didn't really go into why she was having that.
The dancing was for control purposes.
It probably was.
Because they said a couple times, like, you need to maintain control. Yeah. That's the best way to do this, is hold yourself up and maintain control and all that. And it was just basically... Because there was a whole element of the cult is taking over here and controlling your life. And we were all happy to be in the happy cult. But yeah, I thought it was just part of that.
But I don't know.
And then did you notice that all the dancers, the black and white ones, they were the nurses?
Yeah. Yep.
Later. And so that's what they kept implying. That
and maybe that's what it is whenever they needed a touch-up of something, on
the mental side.
Cleaning their mind. That's what she was seeing. But so all these weird things are happening, and she starts questioning. She starts questioning things, and she goes out on this stroll one day. She just says to the trolley driver she just needs a breath of fresh air. And
no, she sees an airplane crash.
I was about to get to that.
Oh, but sorry.
So she's on the trolley. She says she she's going to take a breath
Yeah.
of fresh air. And then while she's on the trolley, then you hear an airplane. And you see the airplane, right?
Yep.
Circling around, and then it goes down in the mountains.
Crashes off in the...
She says to the trolley driver, "Did you see that?"
He's like, "No."
And what does he say?
"No, I don't know what you're talking about. I
Right.
didn't see anything." And then she's like, "Can we go over there?" And he's like, "No, I can't go off this route. This is my route."
This is my route.
Right.
Yeah,
And then she
I can't do
decides in her slippers to go across
Yes.
3 miles of desert.
Right. And she gets to this weird building.
She has to go up a mountain.
Yeah, spiral mountain. And then she has to drop a ring into the... No, she's not at Mordor.
Oh. Like, I don't remember that scene.
Yeah. She has to drop a ring into the Mount
volcano.
Doom. Mount Doom. No, at the top, there's like a building, and she walks up to it, and just as she walks up, she touches it with her hands. Boom! She blacks out.
She wakes up. Weird, she has that weird, white with the blood, and then the
Yeah.
dancing girl.
And they showed that a couple of times.
And the eyeball.
Right.
And
Well, you know what that is.
it's the transport mechanism.
Well, it's probably they took her to the place where they did brain stuff on her again to try to clear her brain and reprogram her back into the somewhat the world of this 1950s utopia. Then she wakes up in her bed, and she's like, her husband Harry Styles is cooking for her. She's like, "How long have I been out?" She's like, "Oh, just a couple of days." Just a couple of days. She goes, "What happened to me? What happened to me?" But she starts trying to explain to Harry what she sees is going on. He doesn't want to hear anything about it. Let's just go ahead and break, because at some point they do a break into showing how they really got here and what the real world is.
Right.
And what we see is
Harry definitely almost homeless. And they had previously set something up, but you're right, it just breaks in and out at random points.
Right.
It doesn't stand out.
I don't know if it was at this point.
And you find out that, she was a medical doctor?
She was like a medical nurse that would work these 30-hour shifts, and she would come home exhausted. He was a Weasley husband who would be like, "Hey, let's have sex or something." She's like, "I just worked a 30-hour shift. I have to go back in 6 hours. I'm tired. I need my sleep. I don't want to do this." And so you could tell he was this Weasley husband who wanted to do stuff with his wife.
IT guy.
But his wife's career was trumping. Well, that was the most important thing. Doesn't look like they had a good relationship anyways. But he's on some sort of website that's talking about the utopian man.
It's Chris Pine talking.
Oh, no, I know that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's talking about the utopian society. Wouldn't you like to be a part of it? So he's going down the rabbit hole about
cult.
Yeah, this cultish kind of thing.
Right.
And what it looks like is, he gets a package, and in there he reads all the fine print. One of the things that says, so if when you bring your wife in, you are responsible for her well-being and upkeep and feeding in the real world.
Right.
And so what he does is he takes Florence Pugh. I think he gives her some sort of drink or drugs, kind of knocks her out, but then puts these devices in her mouth, on her eyes.
Looks like the third day devices from that Schwarzenegger movie.
Oh, I was gonna say it looks like
Clockwork.
Yeah,
Orange.
It looks like that, and then it looks like Clockwork Orange, where they keep the eyes open. Right?
He has to water her eyes once in a while, and then give her some water, and she's chained to the bed.
Yeah, but he's right next to her with putting his on.
Well, and that.
So this is where I'm going to blow holes. I'm going to ask you questions.
All right.
So suddenly, we're kind of in a Matrix situation, right? Where they're now in a virtual world, obviously, but they are.
It's like Tron.
Right. Well, it's like the Matrix.
Yeah, like that too.
Right. Okay, so here were some of the questions that I have. If she's going a long time just laying there in a bed and he's there, I guess he has to get up in the real world to feed her, take care of her.
That's why they're leaving every day and going out.
Right.
That's where all the guys are going.
Yeah.
They're leaving.
to take care of their
right.
wives.
Well, there's something else going on. They're doing something else out in their whatever the study is. But yes, that's their job. Because remember, he goes out and then he comes back and he's like eating like dog food or something. Right. And then he goes in and he does that. But
then he says something interesting later on when he and we're talking in the 50s world where he's talking to his wife and he goes, "You don't understand. You've got a great life going on, whereas I hate what I do. I have to go every day and I have to work my butt off to make this guy a ton of money in order to pay for all of this, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm trapped. I'm trapped at what I do. We can't get out of this. But meanwhile, you can live a great life and do nothing and sit by the pool with your friends and have cocktails and relax, right?" She's like, "I wanted my life. Right. You took my life.
You didn't have the right to take me away." Well, that was the big reveal later. Yeah, that scene. And so that's the scene where, going back to that's the exact same scene where she's like, "We got to leave." He's like, "No." And he's holding on to her, and then she cracks him in the head, basically kills him. With a glass.
So this didn't make sense. So then Olivia Wilde...
And they do, by the way, establish that if you die in here, you're dead out there.
That makes no freaking sense.
Yeah, well,
makes no sense.
That's in Matrix.
But that was different. That was they needed that. They needed to stay alive through their jacks to believe that they were alive in the virtual world. And if they didn't believe they were alive, then they would die.
Oh yeah.
But this isn't the Matrix.
Right.
This is.
I don't remember in Tron, did they establish if you die in there, are you dead out there? I think they did, didn't they? But didn't make a big point.
It just to me that made no freaking sense.
She just took it to the next level with that whole scenario.
Yeah. So then.
So he's dead. So then the red guys show up. Oh no, she's gonna leave with. She gets in the car because Olivia shows up and says, "Get out of here."
So then everybody's chasing her.
Because all the women,
all the guys in the red suits throw the husbands out of their cars and get in their cars.
Right.
Take off after her.
Right.
Remember the doctor that tried to prescribe her pills?
Yes.
He gets to the race. They're all racing through the desert to the headquarters.
The cult guy, the cult lord, by the way, has told them, "Get out there, get her. Do not let her escape out of the
cult lord being Chris Pine.
Out of the Matrix, whatever you want to call it."
Right.
And then you at that particular point you realize all the men are complicit in this whole thing. Yeah. And all the women have been actually willing to go along with this, except for the few that obviously are having a major mental issue about it.
Well, no, some of the women don't know. Because Alice asked, "Do all of the women know? This is a virtual reality?" She goes, "No, not all of them do, but I do." And Olivia said,
some of them are probably too early in the game. But Olivia. But the point is that some of them really liked it. Like Olivia was there because she gets to see her kids who died in the real world.
Who died in the real world.
Right. And so some of them really want to be there. And you would have thought Chris Pine's wife would love to be there too. She seemed like she was enjoying herself.
So this is how it ends. Florence Pugh gets all these other cars to crash out in the desert. Right? And there's a huge crash that goes on. Phone call comes to Chris Pine. There's been a huge crash. A lot of these people.
The doctor's dead.
They're all dead. The doctor's dead.
She fooled them all with her braking ability.
She's on her way to your door or something like that.
Well, no, she's going up to get out.
Yeah.
She's going up to the headquarters.
And that's where Chris Pine is.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, because he was still standing around the giant mock-up of the thing, which we saw earlier. They were all hanging the party at. Okay. There was a pool behind him.
Okay.
So
she's because she went through the desert towards the. Mm-hmm. So the thing is, when Chris Pine gets off the phone, when he gets that message, he turns around and his wife said,
Stupid man. It's my turn now."
As she's going to be the cult lord of this.
I guess she could. We don't know because we don't know where the technology is. I mean, he could literally be on the other side of the planet. I mean, we don't know anything. They never, and that was a big thing. And I'm sure we're going to get into this. Like, why they didn't show what he looks like in the real world?
Right.
That was a huge mistake. But I think, do you remember what the very, very last thing that happened after Florence Pugh gets out? it cuts when she hits the window.
Right.
But do you remember there was one more thing that happened when the credits start? It was, she all of a sudden's like, ah! In the darkness.
Oh.
In other words, she's in the real world and is now waking up.
Oh.
Which, of course, they're skipping the part about those things were well lit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she was in a lit room.
Right.
And you know, she's tied down. So how was she going to get out? So, I mean, the whole thing was, in the end, just a giant... What Olivia Wilde was trying to do was, instead of making this a really cool, like, could have taken it to a next level, like, sci-fi thing, she's like, I want to keep it at the political commentary standpoint. And I think that's one of the reasons why the critics were so harsh on it. Because it wasn't a complete story. It was, she had an agenda to push, and that's how it happened.
Yeah.
In the end.
In the end, the ending was stupid.
Right. I mean...
And, like, I was like, wait, how are you dying in the real world if you die in this virtual reality? You know, that makes no sense.
Right. They didn't do any, like, oh, this thing's hooking up to your brain
stem. This is no Matrix. This is no whatever.
There's too many previous virtual realities. And again, like I said, I think she saw what was going on with Tron, and she's like, I could make a 1950s commentary on women in the households.
Yeah.
And I mean, we all agree that was not the proper way to do things in the grand scheme of things. But that's the way society was back then.
Well, that's the way most probably women did. I bet you there was women who did like that lifestyle.
Potentially.
Yeah. No, I know there was. I've talked to people from that era, but anyways, not everybody hated that. So.
Well, it's definitely Olivia Wilde looking back on her own.
Right. Well, I mean, but yeah, she's a 2022, very feminist, successful woman looking back on that. She's not going to appreciate that, right? So, but, if you grew up and that's what you knew and you appreciated things and your husband wasn't a douche, then you probably enjoyed it. But, probably a lot of husbands, took advantage of that situation and were not great husbands.
Yeah.
But, I bet Ward Cleaver was good. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I bet you Mrs. Cleaver wouldn't have taken it.
Just hang loose, blood. She's gonna catch up on the rebound on the med side.
What it is, Big Mama? My mama raised no dummies. I duck a rap.
Cut me some slack, Jack.
Say cutting can say only say we say be doing everything.
Chump don't wanna help, Chump don't get the help.
Say can't hang, say 7-Up.
Jive ass dude don't got no brains anyhow.
I liked the build-up. I liked the intrigue of where this is going. What could this be? But the Act 3 payoff didn't pay off.
Right.
And it turned out to be blah.
And to that point, it took a long time for there to be any reveal of, like, what is going on. Is this a cult story?
Right.
Is it a commentary in 1950s, like, just living? Is there going to be, like, some serious... Because you didn't get a sense of the whole technology thing until way late in the game.
So this was like a 2 hour and 2 hour and 3 minute movie. We probably didn't get the technology reveal until 20 minutes left into the movie.
Right.
So we spent an hour and 40 on the build-up.
And again, I would have loved to have seen a little bit of, like, Chris Pine dying on the bed. Because then that would have been your answer. At least, like, how does it happen? Does his heart stop? Because you would assume he would be in some kind of major health facility.
Yeah.
Because this guy's super wealthy.
Right.
He's not just sitting like Jack in his own filth in his bedroom and he's squeezing a wet rag into his wife's mouth who's tied down. I mean, there was so many things. Stupid. Yeah, right. I mean...
All right.
Never mind the fact that she had to relieve herself somehow.
I know. Well, that's what I said. He's got to take care of her. He's got to relieve her. He's got to feed her, probably intravenously.
Well, I know.
So all this takes money. So what's he got to do? He's got to go. He's got to leave this place to go get this stuff. You know what I mean? You just don't have a 3-year stockpile of this stuff.
All right.
So it didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and plus the other thing that didn't make sense is, what does Chris Pine get out of this?
They're building something.
But I know, but is that what it is? They're just building something? Or is it just a giant self-contained area for him to have all his, like, people here? Like, is it a big social study? Is it... Because, I mean...
They don't say, Dane.
I could understand it. Well, that's what I mean. Chris Pine, you never got his motivation.
Right.
You don't know, was he there because he's got a harem? He's got all these women that are available to him? Because he never acted on it.
Or he never acted on it.
I know. So it was like really bizarre.
And then like, okay, well, is he a businessman where he's enslaved all these men? Like, okay, for you to have the perfect life, you have to build me something. Well, what is he building? Are you building me a program? Are you building me Facebook? Are you building me what are you building? What are you doing for me? Right?
Elon.
Yeah. So
it didn't make any sense.
Made no freaking sense.
Oh man, I should have given it a lower score. Dang it.
So, all right, Cult Lords fans and viewers, what do you think? What we need you to do is go down and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and then comment. Man, do I want to read your comments more than ever on a movie?
If anyone's actually seen this, by the way, I don't know.
No, a lot of people have seen this.
Seen it? Okay.
It did $45 million at the box office. I guess
it kind of came out
post-COVID. That's okay.
There wasn't a lot going on.
So, but yeah, we want to know what you think.
Mm-hmm. Especially if Jason Sudeikis ever joins, let us know what you think.
Yep, he'll serve his divorce papers wherever she's at. So, all right. So yeah, we want to hear what you think. And Dane.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know. What am I going to say for this one? Oh, peace out. Jerry, are you going to take care of me now?
Here. A little bit of... All right.
I'm set for the next 24 hours.
Now go make me a sandwich.
Go make me. Peace out!